Housing unaffordability is at an all-time high, and California is one of the least affordable states to live in right now. Living in San Diego is a dream, but when only 15% of the county can afford the median priced home, it's just not looking good. All right, where's my keys? Sacrifices have to be made to live in San Diego, and I know I made a lot. So how do I make things a little bit more affordable here in San Diego? By building an ADU. Some of y'all won't resonate with building an ADU in San Diego because you're renting or you're still living with your parents or something like that, and that's completely fine. Do not be discouraged. About a third of young adults living in San Diego right now are living with their parents, and that's completely fine. Just make sure you have an end goal in mind. Like, don't get complacent, make sure you're a good housemate, because chances are, thanks to that same conversation I was talking about with sacrifices, you might have to sacrifice some to live and afford a place in San Diego. And full disclosure, I'm in the middle of the construction phase on my ADU, a garage conversion. Really excited about it. So I learned a ton with the planning, design, and also halfway through the construction phase. So you want to build an ADU in San Diego, and that's cool. But you gotta have a couple of things in mind in regards to the end goal, right? So let's think about that. Do you have enough space in your backyard for a detached ADU, or AKA DADU or DADU? Do you have a primary bedroom that you can extend into a side-by-side ADU? Or do you have a garage that you could convert? And that is the strategy that I'm doing right now. And once you have an idea, bring it to a designer or an architect. Or if you have the time and patience, you could do it yourself. But personally, I would rather let the professionals do it. So for me personally, I hired a local designer and architect to do a sanity check. He guided me through the rules, the regulations, and what's possible on the ADU build. All right, so I am building an ADU on my property, just sort of setting the stage here. The property is a duplex built in 1937, and that's a pretty typical age for the area. One unit is a 1,300 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath place, and the other unit on top of the garage is a 450 square foot place. Now, in between the two units is a nice little courtyard so that everyone can enjoy the San Diego sunshine. Now, there are two different scenarios that I wanted to test out. Number one is to actually scrape the garage and the unit above so that I can make 3 more units, making a grand total of 4 units on the whole property lot. The second option is to just convert the garage and just have 1 more unit, making the grand total units on the lot 3 properties. Okay, well, you might expect that these two options are vastly different in terms of quotes and how much this would cost. So option number 2, the garage conversion, is, I was getting quotes of about $120,000 to about $170,000 and ultimately getting 3 units on the property. With option 1, where you scrape the garage, scrape the studio, and build 3 more units, making a grand total of 4 units, that was going to cost me $600,000. And that just seemed like, it wasn't very digestible to me. Yeah, it was not an easy pill to swallow. It just did not make much sense to go with the scrape and put in 4 total units on the place. So we decided to go with the garage conversion. But why is it so expensive at $600,000? Well, with the homes built from the 1930s to 1950s, we likely have lead-based paint and asbestos, and we have to haul off the demolition. It just seemed like such a mess. So ultimately, that extra $400,000 that would be required just did not make sense to us. So the garage conversion ADU was the best choice for my San Diego home. It's affordable, it has a much more reasonable timeline, and there's not much unknown unknowns for the project. So with that decision made, we went forward with a designer and architect, and yes, I will name drop who I worked with. Jonathan from Ruland Design Group was awesome, mainly because he did such an excellent job with the timelines, the communication, and everything else along the way. You see, here's the thing. I didn't want to go through all of the policy research or regulation research and submit all the paperwork. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. I wanted to rely on professionals who have done this dozens of times and get paid for this for a living, right? It's just not a good use of my time. I'd rather use that time for something else. I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I'd rather help out my clients or show homes or make sure the word gets out there that I am working for you, the viewer. And also with the beam in the middle of a garage, I actually had two massive beams in the center of the garage, and we wanted more of an open floor plan feel for the ADU, right? So having those two beams be potentially structurally important means that we had to figure out a way to make sure the structure of the garage and also the unit above had a lot of integrity going forward. So I had no idea how to navigate that stuff, but Jonathan definitely did, and it was signed off by the city of San Diego. Let the professionals do the work, let them do their thing so that you can work on the more important things as you live your life, right? I mean, if you truly think about it, I am 1,100 miles away and I don't want to keep managing this stuff, especially if I'm doing everything remote. I am not there on site. It just doesn't make much sense to me, right? So I'd rather let the contractors do it. So I like to tell my clients to choose three things when you work with contractors, right? Number one is great quality. Number two is affordable. Number three, within a quick timeline. So I decided to have a quick timeline because I'm actually moving back to San Diego. If you haven't heard that before, go back to my first video, but I'm moving back to San Diego mid-August. Right now it's July as of this recording. And I wanted someone professional. I wanted to make sure that all of my peace of mind, all of the quality of life is intact while I live in Colorado, while I prepare the move, while I prepare my clients for the move, and all that good stuff. So yeah, you can only pick two out of the three things when you work with contractors. You might have heard of ADUs, but have you heard of JADUs? They're pretty cost effective and they are built with minimal construction. They require small spaces, a maximum of 500 square feet, and only require a basic efficiency kitchen. So why did I decide not to go through with the JADU process? So JADUs require the owner to live in either the main house or the actual JADU. And if I were to move out from the home, I can no longer rent out that JADU because I'm not living on the property. Now, although I don't anticipate leaving my home over in the North Park, Normal Heights area, I mean, there is always that chance that I could move out based on emergency situations, and also the resale value is very important in this case. So limiting that ADU cost for the cost efficiency of the construction and also making a quicker timeline makes complete sense. The thing is that I would have to keep living in that property and it limits the buyer pool on the resale value. So make sure you do your research, talk to a proper architect and a designer who has gone through all of the regulations with it so that you can make the wisest decision for your investment. Okay, so now I got my van into desk mode or office mode. Let's talk about the ADU garage conversion and its costs, from hard costs to also soft costs. So how much did it cost? The direct costs include $13,874 for the design fees, $1,531.74 for the City of San Diego processing fee, and $127,448 for the construction of the garage ADU. Now, what about the soft costs? Those costs that are not directly affected by the construction costs or directly related to the construction costs, because based on having a garage conversion, the studio above it had to be vacant in order for the support to be implemented, in order for the tankless water heater to be installed and all that good stuff. So what were those costs? So I had to move out my tenants from the studio above the garage, and one of my tenants in the other unit moved out, losing $2,910 in rent for the months of construction, not including the one-time turnover costs like cleaning, the turnover, repainting, all that good stuff. And can you actually put a cost on hiccups in construction or managing managers or even the quality of life where your brain is somewhere else, but you still have to keep in mind that 1,100 miles away is your garage ADU conversion? You can't really put a price on that, but it definitely added a stressor going into it. And so right now we're actually going through the construction process. We're about halfway through. We are anticipating to close or at least finish with this construction by mid-April, by the time we move out and arrive in San Diego. So I have to thank myself, my past self, for making this huge decision in making this house hack purchase, a duplex in San Diego, and now we're making it a triplex. Just trying to squeeze every little bit and provide housing for the local neighborhood at the same time. All in all, this is all coming together. Now the question is, what is next? So we are actually using the studio as an Airbnb because when we finally move into the place, we're gonna be moving into that 3-bed, 2-bath unit, have the garage conversion operate as a long-term or mid-term rental, basically 30 days or more for those leases, and also have the studio above it, once it's ready to go, to operate as an Airbnb. Ultimately, if we manage this appropriately, we're gonna be living for free in San Diego. It's wild that we could even say that, but based on our finances and everything that's going according to plan, this is all coming into fruition. And also, did you know there's a Sprouts just off of El Cajon Boulevard, close to the 805? That is a massive turn of events, and sure, gentrification has usually leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. But at the same time, like if I'm already a homeowner and a Sprouts is coming in, it's likely going to appreciate all the home values within a certain radius of it, and I can walk to it. That's how close our home is to that Sprouts. We're super stoked for it. So I will likely give you guys more information as the construction continues on and unfolds. So make sure you like and subscribe this video so that you get more over time, because I'm just gonna be providing a whole bunch of San Diego content, especially if you're an investor or house hacker yourself. And also understand what we're doing with this awesome van, right? So we're potentially putting this on the market for sale or even to rent out. If you're ever curious about this stuff, yeah, hit me up, shoot me a DM, leave a comment, and all of my contact information is down below in the description if you're curious about even the van life. My wife and I lived in here for about 10 months of 2024 before we had our little daughter. So this has a lot of memories, and I want a lot of memories to be developed for y'all by living in a van. The wonderful nation of America is yours to explore, thanks to things like this, the van life. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. All my contact information is down below in the description. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time.